Hi, this is Sarah from sarayip.com, Facebook, The Numbers Queen, and Instagram, sarayip1111 from my brand new office in Mudgee Bar on the Gold Coast. I picked up the keys yesterday, the 1st of May 2022, exactly 11 years after registering my business. So I'm super excited. 11 is my lucky number, and the business itself has a 10 vibration, which is handy because that is also the address that I've chosen. So I am really excited to just show you a bit of this office, and then I'll jump into your May 2022 forecast. So excuse me, it's just a phone. I'll do my best. So they've written a big welcome to me on the whiteboard. There's desks, there's my whiteboard, signage, couch, and a plant. So it's humble beginnings, but I don't mind. I am over the moon, and actually when I walked in I cried because the person who has rented me this, he set up his business here, which is really successful, and he said that he had so many clients experience massive healing in this room, and I could feel that. This was actually the first ad I found on Gumtree. So good things happen when we're ready, sometimes before, and I look forward to welcoming lots of you to this office, hopefully in the near future. I will be doing a launch here for my Patreon members to begin with in June. Feel free to check out that community if you've been thinking about it. And let's launch into your May 2022 forecast. So we are in a universal 6th year in 2022. And as you probably know by now, it's all about opening the third eye, which is our mental health, the capacities of our brain and spirit, and our ESP, including our ability to predict the future and bring our dreams to reality. Now, when you look at numerology, it's really simple. You just add May's number, which of course is 5, to the 6th, so it becomes 11. So this is the master number activation month of 2022. You can imagine I got a bit excited about that. Did I mention that they left me a clock? Because of course my work is all about clocks, and the universe would manifest me an office with a clock that looks like a halo. It's just too good to be true, isn't it? But I'll accept it. So here we are in May, 11 months. It is a massive time if you are someone who sees 1111 or 222. We know that 1111 is the Starseed awakening code. I have lots of information on this that you can look up. Almost all of us do have lifetimes from other dimensions, from galaxies, I suppose, far away. And what's happening is when you see that code, you're ready to bring forwards what you learned. So often it will be healing modalities, psychic ability, mass communication gifts. Again, I cover this in detail on my site, sarayip.com. So basically, this is your month. It's one of the reasons that I got my butt into gear and opened an office. The 222 code is the sacral chakra healing code. So this is all about relationships, patience, pricelessness. It's about asking yourself, where do you sell out? Unfortunately, we do have a society that wants us to put a price on ourselves, and we can become overly identified with our figures, whether they are our physical figures, our income, our scorecard in other people's eyes. Now, as a numerologist, it feels weird to be saying this, but numbers are not that important. I'll just say that one more time. Numbers are not that important. It's all about the feeling and the intention. As you'll see from a lot of the work I do, people can have almost the same numbers and totally different outcomes because it's about free will, it's about the environment, it's about the will of those around you. So you can absolutely hack your numbers, whatever you have chosen to bring through this lifetime. All right, so other things about this month. This is a really fantastic time to meet people, especially people you've always wanted to meet. Could be soulmates, could be people to help you on your spiritual path, could be children. We know that 6 is a fertility year. It does look like a baby and also a food baby, which is probably why I've been cooking so much. So this is a fantastic month, like I said, for connecting, especially with Mercury going retrograde on the 10th. Now, a lot of you will know I have slightly different interpretation of that energy. I see it as a very necessary amber light time when we can check that we are going in the direction of our dreams. We can recharge our fuel tank. We can kick out any passengers who have lingered past their use-by date. So I actually love this time. There's so many funny things that happen. It's like everyone becomes psychic for 3 weeks. And I just love particularly seeing the skeptics scratch their heads over their computers talking to them, their TVs turning on and off, and all the other spirit jokes that come to fruition during this time when the veil is very, very thin. So this is the most important time to reflect on where you're going, to slow down, to tune in. Apart from that, do expect to be very sensitive. Honestly, I have cried so much, and it is like the second day of May. So I went and bought extra tissues, eco ones, of course. You might want to carry a hanky this month. It's also a time for diplomacy, so finding indirect, subtle, or more gracious ways of resolving disagreements. Some people say that we could cure a lot of issues if we used relationships to explore each other rather than try to control each other or just project and resolve our toxic stuff. And I think that's true. So use this month to get to know yourself and get to know others. Ask some new questions. For example, what's your life path in numerology? Do you see 1111? Do you believe in ghosts? I've met so many people asking things like that. And if you're not comfortable doing that, well, you can always leave books around. Next up, of course, friendly Mercury reminding us all to let go of control issues. So apart from that, in Tarot 6 is the Lover's card. And we know that is about healing the masculine and feminine sides of ourselves. Now we have 4 energies that play out within us. And I know it's kind of archaic terminology, but stay with me. So we have a king, a queen, a prince, and a princess. And that's not in order of their importance. That's just a sort of standard way of explaining it. So the king, of course, is the assertive outer masculine. And if you have been checking out my work, I just did a major 1-hour reading for Elon Musk, which was really interesting. He's a very strange person, and getting into his head led to me living pretty much on chocolate for 3 days. Anyway, he does have a strong king energy in terms of what he says goes, and he doesn't let people walk over him. And for a lot of sensitive people, we can learn something from that. Not to say you can follow everything that he does, but he does know how to access money very quickly and to ask for what he wants and receive it. So then, of course, we have the queen, which is the female or more yin counterpart of that. And so she would normally probably be a little bit more subtle, but still straightforward. This is, of course, where that would be the divine father energy. This would be the divine mother. And so she is caring and nurturing, but she will tip you out of bed if you sleep for too long. So for a lot of the people watching this, I know you actually have those energies very strong. But here's the thing. They don't activate unless you also honor the prince and princess sides. So the prince for me has always been the inner critic, that little wisecracking, smartass kid, usually a boy, who always needs to get the last word in. And let's face it, Elon Musk also has a lot of that, not to mention 7 sons, I believe, at last count. Now, as a mother of 3 boys, I've certainly had to adjust that part of myself. And what's good about that sort of inner child male is that they're very logical and they don't hold grudges and they're super adventurous and a go-getter, very curious. So of course this princess self has this terrible rap. Even when you watch movies like Frozen, which my kids love, I think there's still a lot of limitations around this energy placed on it unnecessarily. But essentially for me, the princess self is innocence. And a lot of us do reclaim this, but then we don't balance the other components, and so things fall down. So this is not to say that you can't succeed without a nuclear family, far from it. What I'm talking about is that it is important to balance all those energies in yourself at various times. And you'll find that this is a month to do that kind of thing. So me personally, I struggle with the princess self. I have always been a tomboy. In fact, I was apparently meant to be a boy, and I have a boy's name in Chinese. So that didn't come true. My parents apparently weren't that psychic. But all I'm saying is, I always wanted a little girl. And it's interesting that I now work with so many of them in my practice. Not only the inner children of a lot of my clients who tend to be women, but they so often bring their daughters and granddaughters in. And that's very touching for me. I still feel like I'm just getting to know that side of life, the sweet side. So what else do we need to know about May? There will be a lot of justice served. So expect, secrets to come out and people to stop holding back things they've been sitting on, especially in Mercury retrograde. We know that's a big thing. What else can we expect? This is a time to release superstitions. You'd be amazed how many people walk around with blocked third eyes. For example, even the idea that ghosts are scary or bad. That's like telling all of your family tree that they don't have a voice just because they've stepped into the next room. It's a really strange decision to make, and it removes us from our lineage and from a lot of the helpful advice that would actually keep us on track and stop us from becoming bullied by other people who think they know better than us. So don't be afraid of ghosts. Even when you think of someone who's passed, that's a ghost. So you are able to talk to them as if they were still here in physical form, and they may respond. And that's because we live in many parallel worlds. That's in fact what 1111 is about. If you want to know more about that, I'm doing a Patreon call on the 14th of May on past lives and dreams, which will be, I'm sure, very interesting because we have some super cool people in the group. Lots of 11s, for example. Other things to look at this month, where are your finances, in balance or out of balance, in terms of giving and receiving in general. That will be a massive priority. Who will be in the spotlight? I have touched on this, but basically not only if you see 1111 222, also if you have really strong 11s anywhere in your chart, or 2s anywhere in your chart. Now, that's pretty much most of the children. So if your child, I'm going to have to wind up soon because of my tech, but if your child, really comes to you this month and needs some quality time, please drop everything. Drop everything. That may have never been possible for you to experience when you were little, but we can't change history by just pressing repeat over and over again and just swearing at the broken record. So if they come to you, drop everything. That is one of the reasons I've gotten an office, because I can see now that my children are starting to associate the house with a workplace, and I want them to actually have a childhood. All right, other things to know. Right, so 11, as you can see, looks like a doorway, hence the beautiful image I've used in my forecast this month of a woman in a temple. But they can become doormats if they don't monitor their daily schedules. So again, take this month to notice when you feel good and when you don't, and basically what you've been doing, who you've been around. It's like a time to get rid of any energy vampires, people who refuse to grow up. So look, we're almost there. But I thought you might be interested to know that a lot of the power words, especially in the psychic field, are actually 11 vibration. And so those are all energies that could be quite strong this month. So here are some of the 11 energy words: energy, psychic, healing, light, fire, wisdom, starseeds, manifestation, abundance, duality, synchronicity, personal growth, enlightenment, all the big ones, hey. And so the thing about 11 is that it polarizes people. It's not easy to achieve, and often you have to bounce from extremes in order to understand the energy. Oh yeah, and climate change. Some of you might know that my background is environmental science, and my turning point came when I was a whistleblower at the United Nations for bullying. So I had this idea that I could save the world by aligning myself with obviously a massive entity. But it turns out I wasn't very important. And so I took a stand, and that was with the help of a colleague. And I do think that was the start of my spiritual awakening. Although I was only in my mid-20s, I knew that I deserved better. And I think a lot of you will have that type of experience this month and going forwards, especially if you've been following my work. I've noticed that whenever I have a lot of progress, all the people connected to me or who follow my work also turbocharge. And so hold on to your horses. And like I said, bring a hanky. Last few things for today. So animal totems, if you love them, check out my 2022 forecast. For the 11s, it's horse, monkey, and squirrel. So they're all busy animals. They cannot sit still, and you can see me fidgeting wildly as I try to record this. Also sloth for the number 2. So you'll probably have alternating energies this month where, like I said, you're just racing around trying to like clear everything because you can feel this opportunity coming in. And then also days where you'll just lie in bed or just, like I said, sit with your children. As an example, I've been going to a park every day for years, and I always just sit on the swing and watch my kids. And yeah, just maybe a day or two ago, I actually sat down and made a sandcastle with them. So it's amazing how we get into those patterns and we just don't think to question them until, I suppose, the planet changes, our children change, our partners change. So take the hint and evolve. I'll have a look at your questions in a sec. Thank you everyone who's writing to me. So yeah, my final tip for May, stop acting nice. I mean, even the word nice, it has ice as its core. Sort of tells you something, doesn't it? And yes, literally start breaking the ice or being an icebreaker. One of those little ships who goes in front of the big ones and, opens up these new pathways for the future generations. So literally just ask the questions you've been thinking about, do the things that you've had in your head a million times. I have thought about opening this office literally thousands of times. Sitting here, this is my first day in the office. I feel like I am levitating. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to record this. I'd love you to hopefully feel some of this excitement. I'm also very tired, but it just all kind of blends into one big fun vibe. So yeah, stop acting nice, start breaking the ice. We have a new moon on the 1st, which obviously just passed. There was also a solar eclipse, which was pretty epic. So you won't have been sleeping much. We have the 4th coming up, which of course is Star Wars Day. And I'm loving that there are 33 people watching me because Star Wars is full of 33 and 11 references. Feel free to check out my blog on that. On the 10th, Mercury goes retrograde. On the 16th, we have a full moon and lunar eclipse. So honestly, it's going to be quite a jerky vibration. And at the same time, I feel that you'll be pleased that you came to Earth at this time because I think you'll start to see a lot of the rewards of your efforts from this point onwards. So as I close, I just want to let you know, angels are real. Expect lots of feathers, especially if you follow my work and you're watching this. And also, I encourage you to perform lots of acts of kindness for yourself and for others this month. It's what the world needs the most. Let your wings open and use them not only to carry yourself into a better place, but if you can, to also shelter others who haven't been able to find theirs yet. Because I know I'm here because a number of people helped to intervene and save my life. I am not a strong person by myself. I'm stubborn, but I'm not physically strong or mentally strong. I have just allowed many people, including you, into my life so that I can do my mission, which I believe is talking about awesome clocks. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, let me know. Write 1111 on my forecast or send me a nice comment. You are welcome to come in for a reading. My next spots are in June, and I have just opened half-hour spots for current clients. For example, to look at business names, children, houses. There's lots of cool stuff we can do magic-wise. You can also support me through classes. I've got obviously my forecast, classes like Change for Good, my money webinar, which is super popular. And yeah, thank you so much for being on the planet. Love you lots. I need to sign off now and go cuddle the kids. So this has been Sarah. from sarayip.com, Facebook, The Numbers Queen, and Instagram, sarayip1111. Sorry if there's been tech dramas. I will try to fix it, but for now, this is my best. So thank you for understanding. Take care and see you next time. Bye.